Hello everybody and welcome to the GMS Magazine channel. I am Paco Garcia, your host, and this is a very special edition of the RPG interview room because this interview has been recorded specifically for Spiel Digital 2020. Spiel is my favorite convention. I've been several years and I absolutely love the vibrancy and the community and the incredible amount of games out there and how it's just wonderful, and you should go if you can. Anyway, because of COVID-19, obviously, I had to go digital, and I wanted to contribute however I could. Since I also had the chance of talking to some of the people from a company that it's very dear to me because they have an absolutely incredible product, I just couldn't say no. Before we go into it, though, a little bit of an announcement. Watch out in the videos because once or twice a month, I am going to plant a random word at some point during some of the videos that I am going to be releasing. If you see the word, get in touch, because the first person to see it is going to get a $50 voucher for you to buy whatever game you want. I understand that these are hard times, understand that not everybody can afford to buy games, and hopefully that money is going to go to somebody who will enjoy it very, very much. So it's not going to happen in every video because, come on, I release a lot of videos every month. I'm going to be repeating this announcement quite a lot. So keep your eyes open because this could be a chance for you to get a free game or free whatever you want. Anyway, the company I'm talking about is Ardent Roleplay, and they do augmented reality platforms for role-playing games. They have a wonderful agreement with Chaosium, and they have some absolutely fantastic assets for D&D games and fantasy games in general as well. Now, I spoke with Ralph Mulberger not long ago, and I thought this company, they really have something that, far from creating technology that detracts from the table, it actually can properly help it. Today I have the immense pleasure of having spoken with Dr. Erin Evans, who is the person dealing with the marketing for the platform, and I have a bunch of questions to ask. So either if you are a content creator or if you are somebody who might be interested, or even if you aren't, in the platform, please take a look, because I think you are going to be interested after hearing her. So I'll see you after the interview. Erin Evans, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Because you live in the future. How is the future for me?
Yeah, Monday's been really good. It's been a really nice day. It's been quite sunny, and we've got quite a lot done, but we've got a lot to do at the moment because Spiel's coming this week, and so it's a pretty full-on week. But I'm constantly just really excited. We've got such a great team. I shouldn't say that sort of thing, but I am a co-founder of a company, and we've just got this great team, and we've just been working really well together. And so Monday's been a really great day. So I think you're going to really enjoy it.
I think you're one of the few people who actually welcomes Mondays, because usually they tend to be the kind of dreaded thing that nobody knows what to expect from, and going back to work after the weekend is horrible. But God, that must be wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Ardent Roleplaying because I've interviewed Ralph in the past, and I've taken a look at the company, and it's absolutely amazing.
Right.
But I don't, but I don't know you very well yet. So I need to ask you, I need to do the little let's find out if you can answer questions test.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask you first 5 questions to get in the mood for answering things. So question number 1, tea?
Tea.
Okay. Yeah. Fine, that's a very good answer. Second question, the beach or the mountain?
I'll say beach. I've just been at the beach.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why I feel quite refreshed, and Monday feels great. Just been at the beach, and it was just gorgeous. So the beach was great.
Australia. I bet you have absolutely amazing beaches around there.
Well, I was thinking this must be some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And yeah, hopefully everyone will be able to come over and visit them soon, including you. We'd love to
Well,
have
I
you over.
hope so. But you know what? The things are you're so far, and planes are so expensive. A friend of mine went to Australia a couple of years ago with a family and ended up spending in total about 26,000 euros,
Wow.
which is the average salary of a year for a person, more than that.
Wow.
So
Did they
it's a
go a
bit.
bit gold plated?
Well, he had just retired, so he got a little bit of a
Okay.
payoff, and he thought he'd
Okay.
burn some of that money with the family, which I thought it was a wonderful thing to do. But
Yeah.
when he told me the amount, I thought, okay, unless they bring it a little bit closer, I don't think we're going to be able to afford that. But okay, question number 3: cars or motorbikes?
I'll say cars. I've never really been on a motorbike, but I've just got a new electric scooter.
Oh,
And yeah, so I'm going to be scooting around because we live in a city and increasingly cars are not that great for getting around in a
no,
city. And so, yeah, I'll go between the car and my new little EV.
that's very cool. That's very good. Okay, now things are getting a little bit harder in here. Fantasy or science fiction?
My roots are fantasy. I always loved fantasy as a child. I adapted more into a bit more science fiction as I've got older, but I always come back to fantasy.
Okay, good. That's a very straight answer. I love that. And last but not least, zombies or vampires?
Vampires.
Okay, good.
Yeah, definitely vampires. Yeah, I saw all of the really classic early vampire films, Nosferatu, etc. When my mother took me to a lot of classic films as I was growing up and saw Nosferatu, but there was no zombie film, so it set the mark with vampires.
You know, I watched Nosferatu once at a. I went to college in Brighton to do a movie studies course, this kind of thing, and creative writing kind of thing. And one of the exercises was we had to watch Nosferatu, the old, very old one. And when we finished the film, one of the pupils said, "Oh, I don't like it. It's full of cliches."
Where did they come from?
Hello. So I thought it was
Film studies, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Kind of ironic that happened, but hey ho, I thought that was really hilarious. Okay, firstly, tell me a little bit about you because you're the marketing manager of an insanely geeky but kind of ahead of its time company because Ardent is really fighting very hard to break into something that hasn't really been done before for role-playing games and definitely has not been done well until now. So tell me a
Yeah.
little bit of your background. Who are you? Where do you come from?
Yeah, well, my background's pretty different. I've originally got a biotechnology background, and I've also worked in complex projects, major project delivery, as well as team and leadership development. So have a mixture of those backgrounds. I'm probably the main one in the team who isn't really a game player, but the advantage of that is that I get to ask a lot of questions because other people see everything and it's just that's the way it gets done. Whereas for me, I am more asking the assumptions, can see things as new players or non-players may see things, and then I really need to listen well to the rest of the team that have much more the player perspective. Also have an MBA, so that's where the marketing has come in, and running the business. You learn a lot and do a lot of short courses, and yeah, have a great team to work with and work with them a lot as well.
So what are your goals for the company from the marketing point of view? If you had to describe what is it that you want to achieve, what would that be?
Well, obviously, we're the first to market, and we really want to create market share and really have players and GMs, obviously, using Ardent and experiencing a new way of playing role-playing games, discovering how they can immerse more readily into their character through using the AR. In which case, then we become the foremost augmented reality companion app to role-playing games across multiple genres. We have a strategy in terms of direct business to customer strategy, so building up directly working with and building a community. We really want to have a close community engagement, and that's not just from a cliched point of view of we want to have a close community. We are game players. We are very passionate about our product, and we want to really listen to the players and the GMs about how they find the experience of playing our game. So building the community, building the base, because we want to be sustainable, obviously, and also building relationships with other RPG games publishers, because that enables us to do a whole lot of things. We can bundle together the adventures, so that makes it easy for the GMs to just be able to say, I'm playing whatever the adventure is, grab it off the Ardent, and then play directly. So we have a number of different approaches that we're really pursuing at the moment.
Being a company that the product you have takes a little bit to get one's head around it.
Absolutely.
How would you explain it for people who are unaware as to what it can do and how it works?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it enables people to have, through using their mobile phone, that they have a window into the world of their character to really see what their character sees and only what their character sees. So the GM can really orchestrate an experience for the individual player, so that the player is really experiencing what that part of the adventure is like for them. And that's a really new aspect of being able to play role-playing games. Usually there's all of the metagaming going on, that there's a whole lot of having to pretend that you didn't hear what the GM told the rogue compared to what the GM told the wizard. So all of a sudden, the GM can give an individualized experience to really immerse into that character's experience.
What is the biggest resistance that you have found to the concept?
I think for us, we are very novel and new, and whether it's resistance or it's education, I think it's more on an education side of things. We're we're a startup company. We've got a great idea and great product, we think, and a lot of other people we show think it's a great product. We heard from you thought it was a great product.
I agree.
So some of the work in terms of really being able to do a lot of content marketing in terms of the education side of things is really something that's taken some time. And so that really lends us towards, if we can bundle things up as adventures, it lessens the amount of education that's required to really be able to use the app and really, get in fast, know how to use it, because what all GMs and players want to be able to do, they want to immerse deeply in the game and they want to play as easily and as much as they possibly can. And that's really something that we want to be able to facilitate by delivering a product that, that they can pull off, pull it from their phone and load up and just be able to get those amazing augmented reality models on the table. And that's if you're playing face-to-face, but if you're playing virtually, like we can have the models coming out of the screen for people, because we've created a few more features since we last talked to you. So we've really been working towards a lot of the virtual playing features, and working with the virtual tabletops so that it can bring minis still to the gaming experience, even though you're playing virtually.
I mean, the fact that the product is evolving so quickly, from the marketing point of view, it must be a challenge for you to make sure that everybody keeps up with what's going on and making sure that you're telling constantly everybody what's happening. How do you handle that?
That is really our leading edge. It's really our leading edge, because it's the amount of resource we've got, it's the amount of bandwidth that people have got to listen to something that's already innovative, and we're still expanding that approach. But I think soon we will have covered across a lot of the places that we want to go, and then we'll be just deepening the experience. But then again, with Ralph and the team, you never know. So that's the challenge that gets thrown to the marketing side of life at Ardent Roleplay compared to the programmers or the content developers. We've all got our challenges, but they're kind of great challenges to have, because who doesn't want to be more stimulated in the work that you're doing? But I completely agree with you.
Well, so far, what's been your marketing plan, so to speak? As in, who have you already spoken to, and how are you promoting the platform? Because I know that you're forging relationships with some companies, and we'll go into some of that in a few minutes. But when you got into the job, what was your ideas to, this is how I think this should be promoted and how it should be made known to everybody?
Yeah. So we released late last year, 2019, December 2019, we released our Game Master subscription product, and we had done quite a bit of lead-up marketing, particularly with trailers and putting forward some of the features of Ardent Roleplay, getting people excited about that. And we'd also attended a number of games congresses. We'd been at Gen Con, we'd been at Spiel, which we'll be at again, and we were planning to be able to attend a lot of the games congresses, because we were showing, at that time when we were at the games congresses, we only had a development product. We didn't have a product on the market, unfortunately, to be able to sell. And we thought that our marketing plan was to really attend all of the major games congresses, show people, because when people see it and we do a live demo, or they play it at a live congress and get to really experience it, they just always saying, "Oh, that's so cool! Wow, that's amazing." So that was the fundamental, as well as content marketing, the how-to videos, all of those kinds of things. Of course, it goes without saying that the world had other plans for us all this year. And so it's been quite a large shift for us, both in terms of seeing how our product can adapt to the virtual remote play, and just the advantages that brings across. I think that from a marketing point of view, while we have a unique competitive advantage or key benefit for players, in that they can still have models being played, and that's not really possible when you're playing remotely on virtual means, to be having minis being played in the games anymore. So there's a distinct advantage for us there. But I think it would be fair to say that that for many, their experience of life was just so full and stressed that there wasn't a lot of headspace to be able to hear about innovation. Certainly a number, but to be able to get sizable, market share is very difficult. And some of the online games congresses, we expected them to still have quite a lot of passing through traffic, whereas the way that they've been structured, that's not actually being the case with the likes of, Gen Con was great in terms of having live games, for example, but we probably got to show Ardent Roleplay to 50 people who played the game with us and loved it, in comparison to 5,000 or 10,000 people who would have seen us. And so we've really had to shift across, and that's been more. And we've also really heard from players how much they would really like to have things bundled together for them.
Yeah.
And we really see the advantage of being able to create those bundles through having then the business-to-business relationships with the RPG publishers, so that then we can be putting things out at the same time. We can be packaging things up. So it's very easy for the GMs to be able to put together the adventure for whatever the sessions that are coming up, and to be able to, they can adapt them a little bit, but as they're getting their feel for how the rhythm and the experience for the players changes when they're playing Ardent Roleplay, to be able to have it much more developed for you and have that structure and scaffolding through the bundled adventures is really, I think, a really key feature there. So that's really a focus for us. And we've also been doing quite a bit of online streaming, and we have our own stream, and we've been approaching having some better known streamers to come on and start to experience Ardent Roleplay as well. We have coming up a stream with B. Dave Walters, Alicia Marie, Joel Rennie, and AJ Lamarck are going to be doing a stream during Spiel, playing with our community manager, Sean Sunday. So we're really excited about that. That'll be really cool, and we hope people really enjoy seeing a stream with Ardent Roleplay, because they'll be able to see some of the models that the players are seeing as well. So
no, that's really cool. I mean, the possibility of being able to do that sort of streaming is, I think, is absolutely brilliant, because plenty of people are using virtual tabletops all over the place to do the streaming. To be able to, and give 3D edge to it would be absolutely fantastic. Going to all of these conventions and congresses that you've gone to in different countries, you must have experienced and seen some sort of cultural differences as to what they think of the technology applied to the table. What was the biggest revelation of going to those congresses and conventions? What was the thing that you came up with? We need to look into this.
Yeah, I think there were some things around some of the key features of Ardent Roleplay, in that we can show individualized views, was really that view of how the gameplay manages secrets, and the managing the intrigue and the mystery really differed from one place to another. And so that was certainly one of the things that we most took away. Certainly certain countries have their own role-playing games that they play more than others. For example, Japan has its whole almost ecosystem of games, and from what we can understand, that they have a much stronger female playership than in other places of the world. Usually that it's much more sort of 80% male, 20% female. It's almost reversed there. So I think places where also the collaboration is much more of a, whether it's much more of a group experience and we're collaborating together, and just that Ardent is also a very collaborative type of tool, and somewhat that can we can adjust some of our language from a marketing point of view. We can really define some of those features and foreground them a lot more, depending on what country, what audience we're speaking to. It's not necessarily that we are completely telling one audience one thing and another audience something else, because we've but I think it's more the sort of the foregrounding and the backgrounding and the framing of the message to be able to align to bring it back to where people understand and how they talk about the playing of the games, because we're bringing a whole innovative layer over the top of it. So we've got to really be able to connect with the way that group of players already frames the features that we bring with Ardent Roleplay, really.
That makes perfect sense to me, because when I was working in e-learning, one of the things that we had to be very careful about, and we have to be very mindful of, is when we were doing packages that were going to be deployed in different countries, that we had to localize different things, because even the same word in different countries can mean something completely different. So localization is important. Does that mean that you are going towards a process of eliminating the language barrier and creating translations for the platform?
Yeah, we have been doing some of the localization work, so that's been already built in from a sort of the platform is ready. Just everything needs to be put in place and ability to go live for it. But from the structural platform point of view, that's ready to go for us.
Perfect. Now let's talk a little bit about partnerships, because this is definitely going to be a key element in being able to succeed massively as a company, because Ardent will grow with the number of games that are added with it. You have already had a very good partnership with Chaosium, which I have to say, I'm not surprised, because they are an absolutely fantastic company to work with. For people out there who may be interested in finding out more about how to partner with you, what is the process? What are you looking for, and what should they be asking you?
Great question. Well, in terms of partnering, we've had a great partnership with Chaosium. We signed that off at the beginning of the year and then announced it because we wanted to be able to have an adventure right there, to be able to have the content and people to be able to use Ardent Roleplay with Chaosium. In terms of them contacting us, they can come through our website, or send us a message on contact@audacious.com, which is the name of our company. Ardent Roleplay is made by Audacious. Get in touch with us, and we've had quite a number of, whether they're larger companies or smaller companies, contact us to talk to us about their the games that they have on offer, and to really be able to put forward the way that we could work. Like we're interested, particularly that we can align and have a deep partnership. So it works best that that if a company has a certain campaign and an interest in releasing something, that they can get Ardent Roleplay at the same time, and that we can get that deep partnership, particularly at a sort of a marketing as well as the the delivery of the content, and that if companies want to engage with us at that kind of level, then we're always really interested to hear about it and interested to engage. And that would be with myself and Ralph, the co-founder, to be able to work with us.
I'm curious about one thing. You talk about adventures and campaigns, which I can understand because it's, that way you can offer the whole experience. But let's assume that I am a company like, I don't know, Cobble Press, for example, that has some absolutely outstanding bestieries, with hundreds of monsters and challenging creatures.
Yeah.
Is that kind of company able to fulfill a role within Ardent Roleplay and have their monsters transformed into augmented reality?
More than likely, yes. We've got a great content team that are very talented. We've got illustrators and concept artists that work with us. The company may already have some of their own concept art, which we can then adapt. We know the specifications from a sort of a technical point of view. I won't go into those so much at the moment, but we certainly know our product and we know how to translate from what a company may have of their own imagery into what we would need to produce from an AR point of view. And we don't want to have to reinvent things if the company already has it themselves. So it's just then making sure that it's usable and got the right specifications for the augmented reality, and a great host of beasts and creatures is certainly what role players love to see coming alive on the table. And augmented reality is absolutely fantastic for that.
Perfect. The last question that I would like to ask you on this matter, which I know this is going to be a very hard question to answer because it's kind of the how long is a piece of string. But in terms of development, let's assume that I wanted to have a campaign ready for launch at the same time that I launch my own campaign. How long in advance would you recommend people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, we would probably need about 6 months to be able to looking at things, and depending on how much materials you already have, we can then step back and maybe also leave some time for some of the contractual agreements that hopefully go relatively smoothly. We try to be fairly reasonable and work with industry standards in terms of our licensing agreements that we put forward. So team can certainly pull things together quite well. It can depend on what the lead time of how many materials we need to produce as well.
Okay, that's less than I thought it was going to be, I have to say. I thought it was going to be between 9 months and a year, to be honest. But 6 months is actually quite. Yeah, things have moved on an awful lot since I was doing 3D, I have to say.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I hope I haven't given too big a load to our content team.
That would be a good problem to have. You have so much work and so many things to do that you have to bring on another 2 or 3 people. Yay!
Exactly.
Excellent problem.
We're always looking to expand.
Okay, and just to finish this, what would you have to say to people who are still hesitating about this?
I would say add something new. I think really try out augmented reality is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of whole new elements that you can experience with your gameplay. So give it a try. We have a 30-day trial period to be able to get in and try out the different models. We also love hearing feedback from players around how they're finding the use of Ardent Roleplay, and we're going to be at Spiel as well in the next coming days. So we'd really love to see everybody there. But we're always helpful, and we just love players and GMs being able to immerse more in the gaming world and play doing what they love more. So give it a try.
Good. Right. Okay. And now to finish, I just have another 3 little questions for you, and then we'll say our farewells. Question number 1: by the way, this is absolutely nothing related to anything.
Okay.
And there's no wrong answer. So this is chill now. What is the best advice that nobody has ever given you?
Oh, these questions are really hard.
I know. I'm a bad person.
The best advice that nobody has ever given me. Sometimes it's really hard to listen to your heart. And I think that just telling someone to do that often makes not a lot of sense. So just for me, I'd give the advice to just write and write and write for a few days when your head's really clear at the beginning of the day, and then see the patterns after, say, 2 weeks or something, see what comes out. And yeah.
That's a good one, very good one indeed. Second, what is the best mistake that you would like to make again?
Best mistake to make again. Is this going to get recorded as well?
Well, that's the idea. So, I mean, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. That mistake's a bit like, oh, maybe not.
I think I was really glad that I sort of walked into a dance class for the first time, and I started Latin dancing. Was it a mistake? I don't know. Maybe it sort of distracted me a little bit from my study, but it was really good as well.
That's fantastic. Okay, last but not least, imagine that you have a time machine, and as you do, you go back in time and you meet your 10-year-old self, and you say to your 10-year-old self, "Do not do this." What is this?
Yeah. I think sometimes listening to some other people, there's a few people who've given some really bad advice or had opinions that were really not. There would probably be a list of a few of those people, and I would have prepared myself in advance for their opinion.
That is a very, very, very good one. We should all tell our 10-year-old selves, don't listen to these people.
Yeah. It's not everybody. There's just a few.
Dr. Erin Evans, thank you so much for being with me today. I hope this will not be the last time we get a chance to talk, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to do it in real life, face-to-face spiel, when the world comes back to the new abnormality and everything is, face-to-face again, hopefully.
Sounds absolutely wonderful. It's been a real pleasure, Paco. Thank you so much, and we hope to meet you again as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for being there and participating in Spiel Digital. That truly, truly needs you. Please make a donation if you possibly can, because it will be very much appreciated. But until the next time, keep an eye on the channel. Please subscribe, because we're going to do a few more interviews and some unboxings, and we have so much content coming up in the next few months. You wouldn't believe it, and we would love to have you there. So leave your comments in the video description, and if you can and you're listening to the podcast, please leave a review, which would be great to have you around. So once again, thank you very much indeed. And until the next time, I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.